Peace, Black family. So let's take a look at a comment that Busta Rhymes made in a recent interview.
You ain't never seen a black caveman. Period. I don't give a what history book you want to look into. I don't give a what research you want to do. We come from civilization, right?
Yeah.
We are the makers, the owners, the creams of the planet, the father of civilization, and gods of the universe. And there ain't no argument about that.
Now you're probably saying, why is that important? Why do we need to know that Africans have never lived in caves and do not come from caves? Because as Michael Bradley says in his book, The Iceman Inheritance, side note, this is Michael Bradley, by the way. Bradley says that since Europeans come from the cave, it created a culture of hostility and violence, one that Africans and indigenous people did not suffer from because they came from a culture of sharing and agriculture. Africans came from a communal culture of sharing and loving and treating each other as equal, and Europeans came from a real aggressive environment, the caves, where they had to fight for their food and their survival. This made them very aggressive and competitive, not only with themselves, but with other people. This cave culture of aggression and hostility towards other people have really worked in the favor of Europeans, because when a lot of indigenous populations ran into Europeans, we came with love and trust and honor, but Europeans came with a bayonet and a Bible. And this is how Europeans were able to colonize the entire world, through aggressions and trickery, things they learned in the caves. Now you're probably saying, why did I need that whole history lesson in cave culture and European history? As Marimba Ani says, your culture is your immune system. It keeps you from getting sick, physically and mentally. And a lot of African people in this day and age is participating in cave culture. So the subtitle of Michael Bradley's book reads, Prehistorical Sources of Western Man's Racism, Sexism, and Aggression. We'll be dealing with the last two, sexism and aggression. A lot of black men don't even realize that they're copying a European when they say they want to get a man cave. Because the reality is, a lot of us have been indoctrinated with this hate for women ever since we were watching Little Rascals. And that hate for women has followed us into our adulthood. So you now have black men in the Western Hemisphere following the ideology of these white cave dwellers. Now I'm sure a lot of you are saying, well, what about black women? I'm going to keep it a buck. That female feminism stuff comes right out of the caves too. Black women, y'all follow those female knuckle draggers. This becomes extremely important when we begin to talk about black love, because a lot of us are not practicing African-centered ancient love. We're practicing European sexism and aggression towards each other. And so we have gender wars and practice sexual aggression against our own people the same way the Europeans do. In conclusion, when you understand your history, your culture, and your values, interests, and principles as an African person, you can better plan for a better tomorrow. Quick little side note, Europeans know they come from caves because they have places called caverns. I know a lot of ladies ain't gonna want to hear this, but the idea of eating at restaurants, drinking wine, and candlelight dinners comes out of the caves as well. Because Europeans, when they would eat their food in the caves, it'd be very dark, and they would use candlelight so they can see their food. Black people always eat with the light on. Also, the concept of romance is a very new idea, because prior to the 1600s, people didn't marry for love. And so the concepts that we hold dear, the idea of being romantic, comes from the style of the Romans. And again, you can't have black love copying knuckle draggers. This so easy a caveman could do it. They know where they come from.